Hi everyone, Michelle here with Sew It Online, and I'm going to do another video on the Janome M7. This one is going to be, we're going to do a quick threading, but then we're going to talk about the 3 different needle plates that come with the machine. So let's thread the machine again real quick. So before you do anything, always do a needle up, needle down. Okay, and that's just in one of the set of buttons up here. We have, this is your presser foot lifter, your thread cutter, your needle up, needle down. This little dot with the center, if you push that at the end of a stitch, it'll give you 3 anchoring stitches. And then we have the reverse button. This machine can also be used with or without the presser foot. Now let's thread the machine. I have a spool of thread back here. And actually before we thread it, why don't we wind a bobbin real quick, okay? So I put it straight up, and I have it in this first guide right here. Now, you don't need to loop it through the other guide unless it's maybe a little bit more of a difficult thread to work with, but usually just through the first loop and you'll be fine. I'm going to bring it down to this guide right here. Now, on your machine, you're going to see right here that you're going to follow the dash lines. The dash lines are what's going to be used to thread and load the bobbin. When we use the solid line, that's the guide, that's the route that we take to thread the machine. So we're going to bring it over here and we're going to stick it right in between. There's like a base plate and that little disc. See how it's in there? And it just comes right around. I'm going to take my bobbin. Where did I put my bobbin? There it is. Put it right here on the little disc, the spool holder. I'm going to wind my thread around it clockwise about 5 times. Once I do that, you see this little insert right here? I'm going to take my thread and put it in there. See how it's in there? I pull it and it's a little cutter. Now, I'm going to move my bobbin, or this little piece right here, I'm going to move it toward my bobbin. So from the right, move it over to the left. And you are barely, you can't even hear this winding the bobbin. This is the bobbin. You don't hit the presser foot with this one. You just hit this little button. Your screen will change saying that it's winding the bobbin. But it is so crazy quiet. Now, this will automatically stop when it's done. Some people like to stop at 3/4 of the way, but you know, a full bobbin is just fine. And you want to make sure it's winding, it's going up and down, and you'll get a nice tight bobbin ready for your machine. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to take this lever and draw it over to the right. Then I'm going to just give a little clip here. Pop the bobbin right off. Now let's move this back over. Now to insert the bobbin, I'm going to take this little lever, move it to the right, pop the bobbin case off, make my bobbin look like the letter P so the thread is coming off the left side, drop it down, and you have kind of like, it's almost like a little tongue, it's sitting right here. We're going to bring the thread over to the right of it and swing it around underneath, then follow the guide. It comes up and around. And there's a little knife cutter right there. I like to put the cover back on and then pull the thread. So our bobbin is ready to go. Now in order to thread the machine, I'm going to take it out of here. Now what I like to do is I actually put a spool of thread here and I use that to wind my bobbin, and then the thread I use to thread the machine, I keep it here. This is also used when you're doing a twin needle on your machine. So I'm still going to use this guide right here. And before I do anything, I want to do a needle up, needle down. That's a presser foot, needle up, needle down. So I know my bobbin and my needle are exactly where I need it to be. I'm going to come all the way over here, under there, and I'm going to bring it to the left side of where number 4 is. Okay? Drop it down, come underneath where number 5 is, come back up. This is where number 6 is. I swing it around that take-up lever. Bring it down. This is number 7, right behind this bar right here. It's just sitting right in there. This is actually number 8. There's a little kind of tongue that goes toward the right. I'm going to take it and put it behind there. Okay. And it actually, now the thread actually looks, it's just to the left of the needle. Now, you see this little V? I'm going to put the thread in that V, bring it around, and see where this knife cutter or this blade cutter is. I'm going to cut my threads. Then I'm going to take this lever and bring it down. Now, if it didn't go in there correctly, then my needle isn't in the correct position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my machine, and I'm going to go to my very first stitch, and it's stitch number 1. All right, so once you've got your bobbin set, thread your machine, and in the first video I did, you can see how that's done. I really wanted to go over the different needle plates that come with this machine. There's actually 3 different needle plates. Now, 3 different needle plates and 3 different presser feet that you can use with it. Now, you can see I have all 3 here. This one, you can see the single needle. This is going to be your straight stitch plate. You have one that says HP. Okay. This is going to be using with your dual feed that is also a straight stitch. And I'll show you what those look like. And then the one that's on the machine, let's remove that from the machine. So in order to do that, we need to hit the key at the very bottom of the screen. That locks the machine. Then this little icon right here, you're going to see that it automatically lifts up the plate. This one you can see, actually, you can use a lot of your decorative stitches with this one because it's got that wider oval opening. So you've got 3 different needle plates with this machine. Now let's take a look at which presser foot goes with which one. So most of the feet that come with this machine, you'll be able to use with this particular presser foot. If you look on page 5 of your user manual, this one is actually called, it's number 38. This is basically your basic needle plate that's set on the machine when you get it. Now, this is going to be a presser foot, and all these different ones, this is your dual foot, your dual feed foot, and this is so you can do those decorative stitches. It's basically your walking foot. It automatically comes with the machine, and you can use it for decorative stitches and keeping everything in line. This is great when especially if you're working with multiple layers and you need everything to feed together. So most of the presser feet that you have, along with this one, will go with your basic needle plate. The next needle plate that I have is the HP one. Now the HP one is, what do they say that one's? It's basically your professional grade needle plate. Look at the foot that comes with this. Now when you put this on the machine, and we'll do that here in a little bit, you're going to notice that when you put it on, it's going to be way over here. And actually where the thread comes in over here, or in the center, it will be able to go into this. It basically feeds the thread to the left side of the bobbin so that the bobbin can use much more efficiently, and the decorative stitches look just so precise that are used with this, or that straight stitch is so much better when it's off to the left side of the bobbin. The next needle plate that we have is going to be your straight stitch plate. Now this one I love to use when I'm quilting or piecing or putting a binding on, and this is the foot. This is, to me, it's like that traditional 1/4-inch foot, basic foot that came with all the sewing machines. It's just a good, sturdy, basic foot. So this is the plate that you're going to use for this particular foot. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice when you put these different plates on, some of the some of the stitches will gray out. So let's take care of that, and let's put one on. Let's put this one on here. I'm going to pull my bobbin thread, and actually let's take the bobbin off out of the machine real quick. So to put the plate back on, you just put it on an angle underneath and drop it down into the machine. You'll make sure the proper presser foot is attached, hit the OK button. Then you're going to hit that key to the far right one more time. And you're going to notice, see how my screen, all the different decorative stitches are highlighted, because I can use all of them with this particular foot or this particular needle plate. Okay. When I go to change this needle plate, it's going to lose some of these. So let's take off this needle plate and put the next one on. This is the HP foot. Again, it's going to give you, this is a straight stitching needle plate. Now, look, I only have 4 stitches that I can use there. And when I go down, you can see some of the ones that I can use, but there's not very many. Even all these icons, these are the different categories that are in the machine. Look at all the ones that are grayed out. I only have 2 options. These are the only ones, and you see these are the 1/4 inch quilting stitches. So you will know this. Make sure you use the correct presser foot with the correct needle plate. And it'll also say here up on the screen here, it says HP. You're going to make sure that you're using your HP foot. And I believe you can use either one. Do you see how both of them are like that? So this is going to be more of your walking foot, your dual feed, and this is your basic straight stitch. So let's put the other one on and see what ones we that appear or disappear. So again, we're going to hit the key. And this is going to be our basic straight stitch needle plate. Now, you can see I have a little bit more options to use. So I've got 5 stitches across here. And I've also got the ones for the piecing, the quilting ones. And then way over to the far right, I can do this one. This is the seaming, the woven in the seaming. Let's go back to this one here. I can do curve, I can do top stitching, because these stitches are all in the center. So this is going to be using that straight stitch needle plate. The nice part about using that straight stitch plate is that if you are sewing and you've got some good layers, or maybe if you're even using very fine fabrics or very thin fabrics, your fabric won't have a tendency to go down into the machine. That hold for the single needle stitch is just enough to create the stitch, but not to take any fabric down into it with it. So it's a nice foot to use. Let's take this one off. Now, you do want to make sure you follow the instructions on the screen as to what presser feet to put on. The wonderful box that you got that has all these different presser feet, you know, go in your user manual. You'll be able to see which ones. This is an open toe foot, and you really can use this one for satin stitching or for applique, but you want to make sure you're using the right foot or the right needle plate. The needle plate is not going to be the straight stitch one for this particular foot. You want that one with the oval so that you can make those wide stitches that go back and forth. So be aware what foot you have on your machine. So until the next video, check out those different needle plates, play with them a little bit, and see what stitches you can use with which one. So enjoy your M7, and we'll be back in another video.